Whew. All right, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night. Whenever it is you tune in, hope all is going well with you. Just me at the moment, but that can change real soon. As I might have suggested, I am not fresh off the toilet. Although it wouldn't be your business anyways if I did. Just thought I'd get that in there. Also, get my pal Pitts, because Pittsburgh. Figure that'd be the easiest way to transition into this. How's it going, Blake? Blake the Snake Roberts. All right. Who else is here? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing watching college football? Because don't lie, I know that's what you guys are doing probably. I mean, just think of like the stuff that's been happening. I was catching up on the Discord, but like Notre Dame, Auburn, like I don't know, man. What's going, Big Ant? What's going, Boomer? All right, that's what's up. How's it going, Jerome? Terrible trap tails. 6 man in the building as well. I'm playing the new Queen. I don't know, man. You seem to have done it to yourself. All right. Well, Jay Shep, how you doing? Yeah, even Penn State was looking really weird. A lot of weird games, man. What's even weird was the game we had last night. The Eagles and Packers one, man. It's a good thing that Jordan Love is only having to deal with an MCL injury, but even then, like, that's going to have lingering effects down the road for him, especially, the way that he landed and how impactful he is as a player. Like, man, praise up to him. Got the steak sauce. Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Well, on the bright side, at least Michael Turner's happy, with Northern Illinois beating them. So, team rankings are messed up before, and I couldn't even play football. Falcons 77, Bucks are 92. That's all right. Nathan Floyd, good to see you as well. All right, we're going to get into this conversation. First thing we got to do. Man, we saw this last year, or we saw this last time. He's going to be talking about, oh, well, you're going to write our obituaries in the week 1 and all this other stuff. And it's like, all right, well, see you sticking to it, huh? Pete Coleman reporting for duty. Howdy, howdy. Man. All right, before we get into this conversation, I'll leave it up to anyone who wants to join right now, as we did in. That way, anybody's watching live, you guys can hop on. Those watching back, well, hopefully you enjoyed our conversation afterwards. Oh yeah, that's something They've only been doing it up until the 10th, I want to say, which is like on Tuesday. And I think last year they had a glitch where like they couldn't take back all of the codes. So some people just kept the game for free. Maybe that happens to you. We'll see what happens then. Champagne Bad, welcome. I absolutely hope that we put 40 on them too. So, oh, finally here, man. I was thinking back to a couple things. Just real quick, I have this Pittsburgh snow globe from back when I went to New York, and I just kind of traveled through the airport there. As you can tell, it is no longer a snow globe, as it is like dealing with the ramifications of, I don't know, maybe Bane got to it again from the Dark Knight Rises. There's just something weird about it. I don't know what happened to it. It leaked on my... Oh, who was that we hear? I'm not seeing you on the... Ah. There we go. How we doing?
Yo. What's up? What's up? Noah, are you ready?
More ready than ever, man. I've been catching up on so many different things. I have the depth charts that we can look at, the injury reports, and all sorts of stuff. So whatever we want to start to get into, I'll leave the floor to you since you're the guest right now.
Hey, nah, you the host, man. Like, hey, I'm here to follow. Man.
All right, if you don't want to take your turn, William Amy, how's it going? Good to see you.
What's going on, fellas?
Yeah, great to have you here. Great to join us.
Oh, yes, always.
We're going to be digging into... How about we go here? Steelers defense versus Falcons offense.
Ooh, I think our offense gonna do good as long as our Caleb McGurdy get help on the right side, because we got T.J. Watt, we got Hayward. I think we should take some shots through Kyle Pitts, let Quinn cover this game, and get the ball to Darnell Mooney kind of early in space, just one-on-one back up. So I think if our offensive line pass protect, it could be a high-scoring game on us on offense. And don't let T.J. Watt and his front seven hit home early.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing how Caleb McGarry takes on T.J. Watt as well. To your point, I do think that he's going to need some extra help there. So I'm looking forward to see how many times we see Charlie Warner on the field for him, especially line up on that side. Now, I don't want him to stay there on the field. I do want to be able to have confidence in McGarry moving forward, that he can take on some extra speed, because we all know that he's a massive human being. But as we saw last year with Brian Burns, it's like any time he faces someone with speed, that's his biggest problem. And moving forward, he could potentially be the blindside protector for Michael Penix. So we got to have some shored up things without making sure that we're in predictable formations. Making sure that we're leaving an extra person out there just to have an extra blocker. I kind of liken it to how, on defense, you have the quarterback spy when facing a mobile quarterback. I'm just thinking back to what Michael Vick said a while back, where it's he hates the quarterback spy as a concept because you're taking someone else on the field away from a regular assignment just to kind of keep eyes on him. And normally he was faster than the person anyway. So it's all that work to scheme around him, and it didn't matter anyways. So I'm hoping that offensively we don't run into that trap where we're constantly having a tight end protect on behalf of Caleb McGarry. He's good on the other side because he's got Chris Lindstrom on the left shoulder. But anytime you get in those matchups where you're having a massive problem I think was it like 19 sacks in the NFL last year for TJ Watt. Alex Highsmith, no slouch himself. I think he also had 12. Like, these guys can go after him, and that's what I'm looking forward to right now. What about you, K Styles?
And I'm gonna just say it like this: as long as the Falcons' offense is be able to keep themselves in manageable distances, it's going to neutralize them pinning their ears back, like you said, with Highsmith and TJ Watt. Like you said, the differences with the offense this year definitely is going to be they're going to want to get the ball out quick. And that's one of the main things, the way to neutralize a pass rush heavy defense like Pittsburgh has is you do two things. You run the football effectively and you get the ball out quick, which means Kyle Pitts or anybody that's in that slot is going to have to be an effective tool. Hell, even just the running backs out the backfield in general. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, and I feel like we need to run the ball too with Tyler Jill kind of a little early. Like, probably not say first quarter, but like close to third quarter, fourth quarter. Let Bijan Robinson get some rest. Put Bijan Robinson and Will Routes and stuff like that. So really great, man.
Yeah, I remember hearing about, you know, if you deal against pressure from a particular side of the ball, two of your solutions is to either run away from it or pass towards it. So when it comes to Bijan, he's so shifty and he's so explosive. Like, it kind of doesn't matter. Like, I look at how Saquon was used just last night and how, like, he can see through a hole and he's got the burst to go through it, but he also shows us he has the patience to watch for his blocks too. And that's the key thing right there. Just making sure that he stays having that vision to help him get extra yards when necessary. The other thing is, since we're like watching all these different games, offensive linemen, figure out where your heads are, because goodness gracious, the amount of illegal formations we've been seeing.
I think they changed the rule this year because just these first two games, I've never seen this many calls like that before. So unless they done changed the rule, or these folks got bricks in their damn head, I can't explain it.
Man, it's so minuscule too. Like, what they're looking at is where the tackles are. As far as like their heads and where they line up, and like if one of their tackles is like a little bit in front of or a little bit behind the other one, that's what they call. And I was like, dude, does that matter? Like, in the grand scheme of things, if you are just like an Isaiah Likely toe away from your other brethren, like, is it really gonna matter?
Yeah, I can't really explain that. Like I said, even that caught me off guard just tad bit, because these were kind of like little nuances and rules and stuff that we didn't even get no news on as far as what they were changing. Or I know I didn't get no information on it, but it was interesting. I've seen a lot of illegal formation damn penalties just these first two games. This is the most I've seen in two games ever.
I can only imagine how Sunday is going to look like as a whole. Like, is this going to be like take a shot every single time this gets called? Because, dude, we're not going to make it till Monday night.
Damn, Monday night, but you ain't going to make it past the game the way that they call it.
Oh, jeez, man. So, yeah, one of the biggest areas of improvement that I want to take a look at is, especially with new coach, new coordinator, new play call, like new all of that. Like, yeah, we have the same offensive line, which is in some cases rare, you know, with all 5 starters being the same. But when it comes down to the situational discipline, like, I don't want to have this be a case where, like, we're we're losing to ourselves. And that is something that the Steelers have kind of taught us over the years, is that the Steelers, like, no matter how great of a reputation Mike Tomlin has as a coach, as like a winning coach, he always has those moments where his team either plays under the opponent or it plays up to it, but then there's going to be those moments where something else happens. And I don't want to have to rely on that, whether it's winning or losing against them. So I really hope that either the refs get a handle on this thing, or we take a look at what's been happening the last two times and then kind of realign ourselves and making sure that, like, all right, well, everyone's where they need to be, because, man, that's just so ridiculous to kind of lose yards like that and lose momentum in the game.
See, the problem is this is just one of those things where, like you said, we're in a passing league now, and the tackles are more so taught to be at a certain spot on that line where they have to be prepared for that pass rush. This is just the consequence of it. That's unfortunate, but that's where the evolution of the game came at. So now you're trying to teach these tackles, okay, you have to line up you got to line up a little bit more up here. This is the new rule. This is what we're going to call, if you're far back, illegal formation.
I mean, they had a lot of emphasis last year too when it came to I think it was Orlando Brown. Whenever he got like the kip out as the right tackle, like there was some plays where he was earlier than the snap, but it didn't matter because I guess it was Kansas City, and that was the beginning and end of that. Whereas now, like, we're trying to make sure that everyone has a similar lineup and that everyone knows like where to position themselves and time it from there. And then that's where the true athleticism can showcase itself, especially when it comes to these tackles, because they're going to need every single bit of it moving forward. Now, let's talk about like specific stuff, because this is the first time we're going to be seeing Kirk Cousins. Like, yeah, we've seen a lot of him in practice. Now let's put the pads on. Let's put him in a real game. Down the field, I can see the matchups mentally between him and not only Minkah Fitzpatrick, but also Patrick Queen.
Right.
So, what do you guys have to say about those two defensive players?
I want to hear what William got to say on this. I'm gonna let him lead him off on this one.
Say it again. I ain't heard Will's question.
The players to spotlight on the defense is going to be Patrick Queen and Minkah Fitzpatrick. Do you have anything to say about those guys?
Them guys, they kind of tangible. They kind of play like line to line, stopping the run, gap blitzes. They like to put pressure, let the the defense in, trying to stop the run. And Patrick Quinn, he's a good sound tackler, but I just don't think he's not a good covering. Like, I think we should use Kyle Pitts, move him in the slot, open the middle of the field so we could have Darnell Mooney, Drake London, Deja Robinson come out the screen yard. I mean, like, halfback toss, anything like that, man, whatever we could do. But we got to have this Pittsburgh defense guessing. Because they can't, I know they were going to try to stop the run early, but we got to be balanced. Running the ball and short pass game and, medial route. So I think we be balanced, man. We be crazy. Cause Zach Robinson, he gonna have a good game plan. And when I seen him when he played LA Rams, and they home they won in overtime. TJ Watt had to have an interception, so he could cover too. He could drop back in the cover. So TJ Watt, man, that's a guy I'm really worried about. Cause he could cost the whole game by himself.
Mm-hmm. But as far as Patrick Queen comes, like you said, and Jerome 69 says it here in the comment section, he said they're going to be eyeing Bijan Robinson while he's on the field. As far as we talk about with QB spies, like I said, you have a Bijan spy. And with the quick decision making, with the quick processing that we hopefully see from Kirk Cousins in this game, that's going to be something that's going to be to our advantage. And like William said, Kyle Pitts is going to be the biggest factor in where this offense is going to go for this game. Like you said, Minka is going to roam. Queen is going to roam too. We just got to see Kyle Pitts turn into the unicorn. And that's just about as basic as I can say on that one.
Because I don't think these defense can guard him. Because Kyle Pitts is 6'6" and he on the 4'4". So you're gonna have to use Kyle Pitts early in the slot, make him put in the formation like he about to block, and he going the route, middle of the route. So like I said, and we have to win these games early because we got a tough game in Philly. They just beat Green Bay, so we got our hands full on Saquon Barkley and AJ Brown and them. So like I said, we got to win these 3 games back to back. I know it's early, but we go 3-0 or 2-1 early season. I'm cool with that.
This is why the pickup of Charlie Warner may be more underrated than people give it credit for, just for the simple fact that he is that guy who can be that streamline blocker. As we already know, Kyle Pitts, he's not really necessarily the inline blocker that most people. Yeah, but like unless you said, you said what? You said what?
Unless you're Arthur Smith.
That is true too. But like you said, as long as, like you said, with the space and offense that they're bringing here, I don't expect Kirk Cousins to hold that ball for less than 3 seconds, but for no more than 2.5, 3 seconds.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, ball out,
get it out.
Yeah, I think
this is the.
This is essentially going to be the Matt Ryan offense we're going to see again, just with different faces.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, it's a breath of fresh air to have someone that can not only make quick decisions but good ones when they're quick.
Right.
Like they haven't worked a ton with each other, Kirk Cousins and Zach Robinson, but they already have that feeling that like they understand what they want from each other. And we've seen that in practice. Getting an echo.
You see who just popped in it, bro.
Shit. Did I fuck up everything?
Yeah, you did.
Nope, you're good now.
You did, brother. You know what's up.
Huh?
No, you good, man. Now. You good. You good.
Hi, Noah. How you doing, brother? I mean, my Hispanic brother, how you doing today?
Yeah, to bring that up, huh?
I'm messing with him. He I pick on him every time he say, I'm not Hispanic. All right. So what's going on, man?
Well,
I didn't even know case I was on here. I was just gonna come on here and sit with Noah for a minute.
You guys can both join. That's fine.
Shoot.
The whole reason I left the stream open.
Shoot, this is what we call it a surprise here, because nobody knows what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So, Mad Mike, we just got in the discussion between the Falcons offense and the Steelers defense. We've been kind of picking some players as far as like who we wanted to talk about on the defensive side of the ball. We've already kind of touched on TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, those edge rushers there. We just finished talking about Patrick Queen up in the middle and Minka Fitzpatrick roaming around on the back end. The next person I want to take a look at is the outside perimeter, Drake London against Joey Porter Jr. Your thoughts on him as a corner?
It's going to be a massacre, man. He's not to be played with. Joey Porter doesn't have the speed and the size to be able to go with that monster. Like, I've seen him go against some pretty good corners, and he abused those guys physically. And he's not to be played with or not taken lightly as far as his athleticism is concerned. I think Drake is forced to be one of the greatest Atlanta Falcons wide receivers that we've seen. And that right there says a lot, because I only seen 2-3 guys that have been physically more gifted than him, and that's Roddy Wright and Julio. That's it. Like, this dude is a physical specimen. So I don't think Joey Porter has a chance against Drake.
And then if we just happen to look on the other side, pop quiz. If anybody can guess the corner on the other side of Porter.
I give up. I lose.
Me.
I give up.
I
Well,
don't know.
former Panther Dante Jackson.
Are you kidding me? Wow. I had no clue.
Yeah. And then in the nickel, they got Beanie Bishop.
Beanie Bishop? That sounds like a dope dealer. What the world?
Well, Beanie Bishop Jr., I should say. Yeah, Jerome, it's me, it's Panay. Don't forget our other brother Nephi. Yeah, we're taking over the league slowly. Forgot Scant over in Seattle, so I like him.
I guess Colorado's struggling right now.
Oh boy. This is all Deion's fault. Whoever calling the plays offensively, they are absolutely atrocious. What their play calling is bad.
All right. So, last couple of people I want to focus on. How about the guy that just recently got paid for them, Cameron Hayward? He's been here for about 15,000 years here, and he's still just an interior wrecker. What about this matchup again? Because we've kind of seen this before. Because we haven't faced Pittsburgh that long ago. Between him and guys like Lindstrom, Bergeron, Dahlman. Any tips for them to kind of cover not only a guy like Cam Hayward, but also an up-and-comer like Keanu Benton and Larry Ogunjobi?
Yeah. Those are definitely some guys that have, especially in that interior line, them some motor guys. And Cam Hayward, with him being the veteran that he has, he got the tricks of the trade as per se. But pretty much like with Lindstrom, Drew Dahlman, and me personally, I think Drew Dahlman is going to be the person that I'm going to be paying close attention to more on that offensive line, really, than Caleb McGarry. Because, like you said, Keanu Benton and Noah, we've had this conversation about Keanu Benton. Like you said, this was like one of the main guys that we looked at.
Yeah, it was him. It was they also had DeMarvin Leal from not long ago. I mean, Dean Lowry can be a name to look out for as well.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, pretty much the only advice that I would give to these guys is just stay disciplined. Like you said, just stay on your feet and keep them hands moving, because like you said, in order for this passing game to work, the offensive line is going to have to hold up quickly, and these guys definitely are going to be looking to disrupt stuff fast. And I think they'll be fine if they just stay disciplined.
It's an aggressive front. These guys want to get after it. They're not too focused on stopping the run. It just kind of happens. They play fast. They use a lot of stunts and whatnot. And I think you have to be careful in this game if you're the Steelers, because I personally believe, Kill, that Drew Dahlman has kind of proven me wrong. I guess it proved me wrong. Kind of skeptical. I don't know about. I know he's very good in the run game, but he's improved as a pass protector. So,
yeah, his biggest thing, his biggest thing is, like you said, as long as he ain't dribbling the ball on the ground, he's all right. As long as he able to get the shotgun snap to the quarterback exactly where he needs to, like I said, he's been good. Like I said, we haven't really said a lot of his name last year. I mean, that's definitely an improvement. That's what I always say. With offensive linemen, if you don't say their name that often, that means they doing their damn job.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said,
I'm not afraid of that
D
D-line, to be honest.
For me, for Drew Drama, just the snaps. All you gotta do is correct on those snaps. Just give it to Kirk Cousins in his hands. He good, and like Matt might say, he good at pass protection. And everything, he's got to be better in snapping the ball to the quarterback hand. So we good, and don't get scared when you get double teamed. If you do that a lot, you panic and throw the ball real low to the ground, so the quarterback can't reach it. So we be straight though. And Nebraska is blowing out Colorado right now. It's 14-0. By the way.
Oh well, damn.
So yeah, a lot of good players to keep in mind. I love this matchup for our offensive coordinator Zach Robinson because these are all your toys that you get to play with. Like we have a plethora for you to choose from, man. Unsung hero is going to be Darnell Mooney in this game because, like you said, like if we are looking at that other corner, or if we're looking at our matchups in the nickel or on the inside, like we can move him literally anywhere, and he's like the last person out of the five that they might be paying attention to, because when you have the threat that Kyle Pitts is going to be in this offense, when you have the threat on the outside like Drake London's going to be, or even like on screen passes, just something short to like get the ball to him and like let him be the bigger dude, right? Because that's all they need to be. And in the ground game, right, you have the two-headed monster right there. So, like, those guys alone, like, barring the offensive line, could swing this game. But now it's just going to be up to, like, how well is Kirk Cousins making these decisions, and how often is he throwing the ball to begin with in the first place. So, I kind of see it, like, depending on where we are in the game. Like if we start off with the football, I definitely see a lot more running the ball right now, because I do believe that we're kind of paying top dollar for someone to be like, all right, don't ruin what we have built. That's all that's all we need you to do. Do not ruin what you've built. So like limiting Kirk Cousins to about maybe 25 completions or about 25 passing attempts in the game. I kind of see that. That averages about 6 passes a quarter. I think that's just enough for them to set an example of what they can do, showcasing their talent, deep, intermediate, short, whatever the case may be. But ultimately, let this football game be run through the backfield, because we know what the other side of the ball has done too for us, and this is what we're going to be talking about now. Steelers offense versus Falcons defense, because we know the other guy. We know Arthur Smith too well at this point for him to be making these kind of mistakes against us as a defense, because he doesn't really know Jimmy Lake all that well. Like, yeah, he might have been familiar with some of our players, but even then, like, the connections that Raheem Morris has built in that entire locker room, the benefits that he's gotten from Jimmy Lake as they've worked together in the past, the history of guys like Justin Simmons and Matthew Judon playing in that conference, getting to see the Pittsburgh Steelers more often, getting to see those players, like, those will have big things to impact the game. So, looking at their starting quarterback, I think this is going to determine the entire focal point of how they decide to call plays. Yeah, they're also going to run the ball. They're also going to try to be physical. But what is going to happen when they have to pass the ball? What say you? 6-man.
Well, if this was Russell Wilson starting, even though this ain't the Russell Wilson that everybody saw in Seattle, as a guy that's been there and done that, he would be a guy that I would definitely worry about. But with it looking like Justin Fields probably being the guy that's going to be under center, we know Arthur Smith pretty well. They're going to try and I know with George Pickens, we know how much of a hothead George Pickens is when he don't get the ball at times. But this is going to have to be a Pat Freiermuth, Darnell Washington type of game, or Cordell Patterson type of game.
Maybe Calvin Austin.
Well, we've seen what he done. We've seen what he done with speed receivers. He don't use speed receivers very well. But
why do you get him and Scotty Miller and?
But it's going to come down to, like I said, the Falcons' defense biggest weakness right now is going to be the interior line. Is can they cover the middle of the field? So this is why I said the guy to watch for on that Pittsburgh offense is going to be Pat Freiermuth. I was confirmed that's how you say the name, so I'll roll with it. But my issue is my thing that I'm going to be watching out for, and this is a question that I have for the whole panel here, is do you think that Arthur Smith is going to try so hard to prove the Falcons wrong that he's going to be calling some dumb stuff?
He did that without the emotions in the previous games.
Right. So now you're adding more of an emotional element to it. So like you said, is this something to be watched out for as far as that Pittsburgh offense?
I would absolutely say so, because we've seen the stubbornness of Arthur Smith. He wants to make his way work, and the contrast between him and Raheem Morris is like, hey, we are all collectively making our own path to success. And I don't see that same kind of like chemistry that he's got with Arthur Smith. Now, like, sure, like other people can really like him, but when it comes down to his schemes and what he wants to do, like it doesn't really seem like anybody else has that much of a say so. So like, when it comes to like, oh, I'm gonna have Michael Pruitt on the field again, even though I have Darnell Washington, who's possibly a better blocker than him, but like I already know who Michael Pruitt is. So, and then I kind of know a little bit more about Van Jefferson than I do about this other guy. And like, he's going to have something like that. Like I have the Steelers depth chart here. They have Cordell Patterson listed as the third running back. I kind of don't buy that right now. Because yeah, we're going to see a little bit of here and there of Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren. But how better, if you were Arthur Smith, like how much better would it be to take what was considered like the scraps of our offense and then try to dink and dunk down our defense against it? Like trying to use Scotty Miller, Van Jefferson, Cordell Patterson, like all these guys that we're familiar with, like having those guys beat us rather than guys like George Pickens. I kind of see that more I kind of see that happening more than just like a George Pickens game takeover or something like that.
What you got on that, Mike? What?
Well, personally, I don't think they have the running game to kind of, to focus on doing what Arthur likes to do. If I'm not mistaken, I think Najee is he's injured. He has some injury issues. The running back kind of beat up. The running back room's kind of beat up, and then you have Justin Fields, who he doesn't really know. He's seen him play, but I mean, seen him play a couple of times. I think 2 times he played Chicago. So you look at the offense. I think look at the wide receiver room. It's the George Pickens show. So it's like I don't think there's nothing about Pittsburgh that I'm afraid of. I think this has to be a game where I think it comes down to the fans. If the fans come with the energy in the first quarter and they're on their feet, because you know how the Atlanta Falcons like to start really slow offensively. But like I said, at the end of the day, that's nothing about Pittsburgh that I'm afraid of. Not even defensively. So many people are so focused on TJ Watt, but like TJ Watt is not a great run defender. He's not a great cover guy. He's great at getting after the quarterback, but outside of that, I'm not afraid of Patrick Queen. Like there's nothing about Pittsburgh that all right, I'm afraid of you. They have way too many. It's a lot of question marks with Pittsburgh. A lot of.
I'm gonna say for us, man, start Justin Fields early, man. You cannot let him break himself like how he did last year. Justin Fields.
Yeah, I was gonna think about that because Dirty Bird Bobby here brought it up as well. How much of the game film do you look at from the Chicago offense last year in comparison to what Arthur Smith would run using Justin Fields? I don't know how much of it you can use.
What film? What film? He has no film. He's had no film where he actually had something good. He had a couple of games. Most of his games, when you look at Fields as a quarterback, he's done the exact same things. Even the successful games, he was late on throws on the sideline. All right, with the game with DJ, I think DJ had like 200 yards, and two of those touchdowns were like 100 and maybe 120 combined on those two deep passes, and easily they could have been picked. So it's like a lot of the things that he does on the side, a lot of boundary throws. So it's like the Falcons, if you want to get in the war of, throwing to the boundaries with now Justin Simmons and Jesse Bates, like I dare you to do that, especially with a corner like AJ Terrell, who's going to be traveling for the most part. So it's like, there's what can Justin Fields do outside of throw the boundary well and run well? That's what he does. There's nothing to that.
I challenge you to that. He can fumble really well.
Oh my God! Really?
Well. Looking at that matchup with Justin Fields and where he comes from in Chicago, well, we also have to look at Chicago where he was very dependent upon DJ Moore. Now, can he have that rapport with George Pickens? And is George Pickens going to have the patience with him? Because, like, even if we look at the last Atlanta game that, Justin Fields played against us, one of the major areas of weakness that they attacked was the slot corner. And the problem is with that, too, is not even just the slot corner, but it was just the inability to finish on a couple sacks here and there, a couple pressures, to where you could disrupt them.
They use a lot of crossing routes too. They was with DJ Moore with the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, it was actually on top of what you just stated. The Falcons, it was really cold and damp, and they were using that against the Atlanta Falcons with those crossing routes and drag routes and running away from them. So it's like they can go back to that because that's what Justin Fields is comfortable with. He's comfortable throwing the boundary throws and those crossing routes. But now you have two safeties, in which I actually just dropped a video about Justin Simmons and Richie Grant. How I'm going to be focused on those guys coming into this game, because I think that's a part of the defense that they have to focus on, because, like I said, he likes that crossing route and he likes those boundary throws. So if you can take those away or take one of those away, you got it.
So Mike, let me ask you a question on that. How often did we see Arthur Smith use crossing routes?
Oh my God! I'm gonna let you answer your question.
Man.
Yeah, that pissed me off last year. He really, really said to me that you got a little Scotty Miller as fast as he is, and Kyle Pitts running seam routes and 9 routes. Yeah, Arthur really pissed me off last year with that.
I also take a look at, like, we already kind of know what Arthur wants to do, right? He wants to run the ball. He wants to bring the big guys up on the line of scrimmage and then control that and then use that play action. And then maybe then he can start throwing some crosser routes like he used to before. But what I also see is that, like, after that, like, if you're down, that scheme don't work. And I can already imagine Pittsburgh, like, scrambling to figure out what to have for a game plan when they're down a significant amount. And just having Justin Fields, like, trying to be the savior of this team, like, I just can't see it with the amount of experience we have going up against him, with Grady Jarrett up in the middle, with Matthew Judon on the other side, with even, like, Caden Ellis in coverage in the middle. Like, we have yet to see Troy Anderson, like, perfect his role. And I'm really looking forward to him. But, like, on the outside edge, you have A.J. Terrell. On the back end, you have Bates and Simmons. It's like there's nowhere that's safe for him to throw the ball to and exploit any other extra matchups with the people that he's got. It's like we already know that we have to take a look at what George Pickens is up to. And it's like we almost can take care of that with just one player on the field.
He's unwilling to check the ball down too. My bad, no. He's unwilling to check the ball down. He's not on the quarterback that looks. If he doesn't see anything that he likes quickly, he's unwilling to check the ball down the path. And I think that's something that Arthur Smith also in his offense he doesn't, kind of employ that. Also, he would much rather for the quarterback to hold on to the ball in his offense than it is to check it down. So that's another thing that you kind of have to look at with Justin Fields coming in. Will he check the ball down a whole lot quicker?
Yeah, I get what you're saying with, like, his ability to throw deep, but, like, if you're against our secondary, why do you want to? I just don't see the scenario where, like, that's the smart idea to do. And even if you think that you can scheme up some way where someone can get open, like, are you going to have enough time to do that? Because one thing we haven't discussed yet fully is, like, all right, their left tackle right now is Dan Moore Jr. Their left guard, he's out this game, so they're having Spencer Anderson at left guard. They're having a rookie with Zach Frazier at center. They're having James Daniels at right guard, and they're having Broderick Jones at right tackle. Maybe you can get a little bit more Troy Fautanu coming up a little bit later. I don't know where he starts in here because they have him as listed as, like, the second right tackle. But I do see him lining up at some point.
Well, the main thing, who are
these people?
What the hell is wrong with y'all? I'm sorry, no. What? Why are you talking about the linebackers are getting crazy work? Like, who makes you think who the flying freak is afraid of Justin Fields? We've seen this before. We have a guy that's in Carolina. He runs just as well as we've had Baker Mayfield. The Falcons have played against mobile quarterbacks before. This is nothing new. Like, why are we really so upset or getting so excited about Justin Fields? Like, he's the only mobile quarterback in the United States. Okay, we've seen this before.
Because they're hoping Justin Fields beats the Falcons to prove us wrong. that's all that shit. That's all that comes down to.
Justin Fields was gonna be hurt last game we did when we were with Chicago Bears.
The biggest thing we're going to have to see here in this matchup with the Falcons defense, even with Justin Fields, is can that interior line get pressure up the middle quick? Again, throw him off his rhythm, throw him off his spot. Because, like you said, the thing that beat us last year, and we just said it, is those crossing routes. They put DJ Moore in the slot 85% of the time and ran crossing routes against whoever the hell was on that slot.
I expect Mike Hughes to get a pick or D Alfred because I know Justin Fields will trying to check out corner 2 and corner 3. He ain't gonna throw the AJ so whatever. You know better.
Yeah.
But I expect us to get 2 fumbles from Justin Fields, a sack, fumble, an interception, 2 from Jesse Bates, Justin Simmons. I think it's gonna be 28 though. The 14 or 7. To be honest, I don't think they're going to go over 7 points. And the main real because Arthur Smith is not a good offense coordinator because they're going to think he's going to prove something when he play against us. But the Falcons already know his game plan. He a run-heavy team, and the wide receivers run the same route concept. Like none of his receivers going to have separation outside of George Pickens. So I think they're going to have to split and win. 28, Steelers, 10.
Hell, you look at that matchup. If you look at that matchup last year, hell, if Evan Kenny actually holds on to that damn sack, are we even talking about the same thing?
Yeah. But I think that's
which was the theme of majority of them losses we had last year was containment.
Containing like letting quarterbacks breaking on Arizona Cardinals, Kyle Murray running, Minnesota, Josh Dobson. Like we couldn't contain them quarterbacks. Like when they do them bootleg roll out and they just get 20, 30 yards running, it has killed us. Even though we put our safety, Richie Grant got burnt. So now we got Matthew Judon. I think he gonna have Arnold Ebiketie to step his game up and the rest of them. The pass rusher, Lorenzo Carter, Luke Ororo. So we got depth, man. If we be consistent and rotate that defensive line and give Grady Jarrett, some fresh air, don't let him play 60 snaps, but we be good, man.
Go, Larry's mom.
Well, I'm about to say, for somebody that's supposed to be a Falcon fan, he damn sure hoping the Falcons lose. Take it, Pooh, hoping the Falcons lose.
Not on the Raheem Morrison.
Follow the Falcons. He's not a Falcons fan. I know these types.
Yeah, he's a Justin Fields fan, but he tolerates the Falcons just because he lives here. Yeah, that I know about them. But what you gotta know? What you gotta know about that?
Here's the thing, right? Like, he's got so many things stacked against him. Like, it's not going to be as easy as it was in previous years. And even then, he couldn't even win some of those ones. Like, now he's having to learn whatever Arthur Smith wants him to do. And it's not going to be the other way around because I just don't see that level of creativity working in Justin Fields' favor. And 2, like we talked about, like, he doesn't have a lot of matchups that are favorable on his side of the ball. Like, even if you want to say that, Pat Freiermuth is an option, like, I give him that over Russell Wilson because at least he can actually see in the middle of the field. But then it comes to, like, his decision making, and even if we have a situation where, the Steelers are ahead at some point in this game, which can happen, where does Arthur Smith put the football? Does he keep putting it in Justin Fields' hands? And what purpose is that for? Like, is it to showcase his talent as a runner? Is it his show? Is it his? I just don't see that many things that work against what we've already seen from Arthur Smith. And it's like, he's already had that uphill battle with us. Like, maybe in another couple of games where he might surprise some things and Pickens makes a ridiculous downfield catch like he, kind of does like every other week. Like, you can see that happening for a few plays. Like, obviously, I'll give him a chance to kind of score a field goal, but to kind of like consistently go up and down the field against the defense that we've assembled, I get we have new defensive play callers, but it's a different feeling when you're a quarterback who's been having to make a battle for the last couple of years just for your job, and out the gate you're supposed to be like swinging home runs. I just can't see that scenario working all that well out for him right now.
Coming into, well, not even coming into this. The issue with Justin Fields.
Kind of going in and out. All right, we lost you completely.
I gotta come back in.
Yeah, right. They can come back in. Michael, you went in and out.
No, I said go ahead. I'm going in and out. I'm
Okay.
I'm on my backup phone, so I don't feel like going back upstairs to the other phone. So I'm on my backup phone, y'all. I'm on
Well, like you said, as far as this situation is, the best thing that's going to happen for him is he's going to have to run the ball. But the thing about it is, are they going to allow him to run the ball? Which is what I call his trump card. Like you said, this is the reason why you bring in a Matthew Judon. This is why you bring in a Justin Simmons. This is why you have a Jesse Bates. This is why you keep a Richie Grant, Troy Anderson. You have a lot of guys who are rovers by nature who can also spy. So essentially what we're going to be going against is going against a Taysom Hill 2.0. Just going to have to come down to, can the defensive line, once they get their hands on him, are they going to finish the job?
Right. So, moving away from that a little bit, let's talk about the other side of the game right here. Special teams. Okay, Styles.
Yes,
you and I both know. Special teams can be important. And
Yep.
they got a familiar face over there returning kicks. Now, on our side, Avery Williams is back for us. So, I like our matchups, but how do you think the field position is going to sway for both teams here?
Well,
as we already know, man, special teams, this is going to be an important factor, especially in the first game of the year. You're going to need that special team to give you that good field position. Now, like you said, Avery Williams isn't a Cordero Patterson. As far as you already know, he's going to be able to, he has the ability to break one. But like you said, he's capable enough. Now, when we talk about special teams, for me personally, I'm not even going to be looking at the return guys. I'm looking at two guys. That's Bradley Pinion and Young Wei Koo.
I don't know how many times we'll see Bradley Pinion in this game, if I'm being honest.
I mean, even if you don't see him that often, well, when you do, you want him to pin them as far back as possible.
Yeah.
Like you said.
Who got to hit these field goals? Like, I understand preseason mess on, but you got to be consistent in the league and kicking. I don't care if it's a 50-yard field goal, 45 or 42. You have to be consistent kicking the field goal, because sometimes the team might need you to kick a game-winning field goal, so we can't have those missed field goals. And like you said, and Penning, he have to kick the ball to like on the 20-yard or the, we put teams pin them in situations that they couldn't get good return yardage. But it's not as different now because the new kickoff rules. They got to kick it off close to the 25. But I think they should change that next season. I don't think we should do that again. To me, I like the original kick, the special team kickoff. To me.
We've already seen a lot of touchbacks as it is. And just
I think teams looking like damn this, man. I ain't got the technique to be trying to pooch kick this thing in here. Like, right, we just gonna let the defense get it at the 30.
I do think that there will be a shift in during the regular season where we start to see more returns, because earlier today or yesterday I was listening to the interview with Marquise Williams, the press conference that he had, and they're looking at every single time that someone is returning a kick and what was the kick coverage like, how was everyone filling in their gaps, how is everything handling those things. And from there, that's when you can start to get creative with it. All right, what's working around the league? What isn't working? And just pitch some ideas around. Do you start going after trick plays and sweeps and reverses and all this other stuff? You have the ability to do that here, but right now it's all about playing disciplined and playing sound and making sure that we don't have a lot of people that are out of position and just breaks off and breaks away for a big game or goes all the way for a touchdown. I don't know if Cordell Patterson has the speed as he does, because we're starting to get a lot more speedy guys right there, not out in coverage. So it's not going to be a bunch of linebackers and tight ends that are and fullbacks that are going to be only there to kind of fill in the 11 people that they need for special teams. It's going to be some corners, some running backs, maybe some guys that have that speed, that can understand their assignments, that can take a look at the vision and know where to be. Those are the people that you need to have in those positions to not only field kicks, but cover for them as well. So I don't know how much of a factor it is in this game specifically, but it is something to keep in mind moving forward. So last thing I want to talk about, just quick little tidbits that the four of us can deal with. Hopefully we can get some different names here. Just overall, we've talked about pretty much everyone else we can. Is there anybody that you wanted to shout out here, whether it's on our team or on the Steelers team, who needs to step up? I'll go.
What you say on offense or defense or special teams?
I'll let you take your pick. Either team. Who needs to step up?
I'm gonna go with our team. This year, man, I need one of the Potter stuff up and honor educating, man.
Educating.
And Richie Grant, if he gets some playing time, because we can't have those that happened at the beginning of this year when Chicago Bears and David Automata, because we let quarterbacks break free, breaking runs, not quarterback containing them. We had difficult problems with that. So Arnold Ebiketie, David Automata, and Richie Grant, we got to set the tone, man. We cannot have offense thinking we're the same final team. That's what I'm gonna go with.
All right, Mike, did you hear the question?
I think Mike probably gone.
My bad. I'm watching this Colorado game. Good God Almighty! What in the bloody hell is going on here?
So, question is, I'll let you pick a team that you want to signal out a player for. Who needs to step up in this game? In this game
this week, Falcons and Steelers. That's difficult. I say Dante Jackson, because he's gonna have if they don't step up, if he doesn't step up, it's gonna be a long day for that team. Pass rush is not gonna be able to help them against the Atlanta Falcons, because Falcons have a balanced attack. They're gonna continuously have a balanced attack with Tyler Algier, Bijan Robinson, and then you got a guy like Darnell Mooney, who's a 1,000-yard receiver himself. So it's gonna be a long day if he doesn't step up.
As far as me, I'm gonna go with the Falcons. The guy that has to step up in this game is T1000. because you also, like you said, just with this Justin Fields matchup, you have to remember T1000 was the main spy against Justin Fields the first time they seen him. He didn't play the last time. So I'm going to need him to step this thing up this week. And I know with the emergence of late Nate Landman, he's going to have to reassure his role within this defense. Because he got a lot of upside. But you got a guy behind you like a Nate Landman who's hungry too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick one on both teams here, and it's kind of they might be facing each other here. Van Jefferson and Mike Hughes. I want to see, like, do they have any sort of threat outside of the three that we know? Like, is Arthur Smith going to really care to give him the ball? Like, how is his development in this offense going to look like? I don't know, and that's why I want to point him out. And then on the other side for us, Mike Hughes. Like, he is the one that I think a lot of people are looking at the secondary and pointing at, like, all right, well, why are you the starter? Because we've seen really good things out of Clark Phillips, and yet he's backing him up, right? And we also have, although we're not going to see him because of a groin injury, but Antonio Hamilton, right? We just promoted Kevin King. So, like, we got a lot of competition there, and Mike Hughes, he's sitting comfortable, and we want to be able to figure out why. Because we've seen him in the last couple of years, like, yeah, he's a first-round corner, but at that point, like, all right, he's not really going to be playing up to the first-round potential because he's not even on the team to do it for. But, like, can he play his role to that he's not a weak point? Because we've seen for the past couple of years, it's like, yeah, AJ's fantastic, Jesse's fantastic, but on the other side, that's where we start to see the back of the name of the jersey and just like trying to chase someone else down. So I don't want that to be a problem for us. So Mike Hughes, I'm looking at you. Van Jefferson, I'm looking at how you do against him. Make sure that it's not an easy thing for Mike Hughes to just beat you. So I want to be able to see that. Last thing, because I know the type of fan base that we have visiting here. Home crowd behavior. If we want to establish dominance in the conference, in our division, moving forward, especially for the playoffs, because if we win this division, we're guaranteed a home playoff game. Right? So establishing dominance in our own stadium. Mad Mike, where does that start?
Home crowd. My bad, I was stuffing my face. Repeat that. Begin to.
Yeah,
I'm putting it down.
Had you a
Yeah, I'm having done. Man, I'm hungry, man. Look, where does as far as the how can they get off to a fast start?
So we got the Steelers fans coming into town. We got to establish dominance in the building. How do we do that?
Fact, be there early, be 2-3 hours early. That when everybody tucking, they should be filling up them dams, man. Cause
Well, that ain't happening in this Atlanta. No, I'm here to tell you, they not waking up at 7 o'clock to get up at the stadium at 11 o'clock to get there early. That ain't happening with Atlanta, especially black people.
So you saying the Pittsburgh?
Yeah, they've been drinking. They've been out drinking the night before, so they damn sure ain't getting up at 7 o'clock before they can get up. So that's not happening. There are too many clubs here in Atlanta. Like maybe where y'all from, but that's not happening here in Atlanta. But
no, we ain't got big clubs like I'm from Savannah. You know, we ain't got big clubs like y'all.
I get it, but I just say feed the beast. Feed the beast, man. I think you have to feed Bijan and you have to feed Tyler. Get those big head goons going early and protect Kurt. Make sure that he's healthy. Check the ball down. Play the short game until you know for certain that he is healthy. I think you have to just be careful with it and rely on the defense early. So I just say Feed the beast.
As far as you saying about the home field is definitely you're going to have to get rowdy right off the gate, because like you said, as the reputation of the Steelers fans is that they travel well, we have to stay the course for the full 60. But like I said, that also is going to come down to the team as well. They're going to have to stay consistent. They're going to have to play disciplined football. But as far as the fans is, when it's third down for the Steelers, the fans got to get rowdy. When the offense is on the field, they got to shut the hell up. Like you said, if you have to snatch a terrible towel off of somebody and wipe your ass with it, you gotta do whatever. Because as long as them towels ain't waving, our home field advantage would not go anywhere. So if we watching the game on TV, or folks may not be in the stadium, if you don't see those towels waving, that means the Falcons home field and the Falcons are doing their job.
Well,
Here's the thing about the terrible towel. That doesn't make noise.
It don't make noise. It don't make noise, but for some reason, when folks wave them towels,
they're gonna make the noise. But here's what I'm looking forward to, right? Because not only do we not have Russell Wilson playing in here, I don't know if he's like scared because of what Atlanta has done to him, as far as like every time I brought him up in the media and everyone was saying like, no, because Future ain't gonna want him. Maybe that's the reason he's not starting. I don't know. Point is, Justin Fields is coming back to Atlanta, right? And that was a big deal when he was in Georgia. That was a big deal even when he was in Chicago coming with us back in 22. Like, I don't want to hear cheers for Justin Fields in this game, right? So I want to make sure that the crowd remains on our side and they're not trying to be controversial, and they're not trying to sit on the fence here, because you're going to hurt yourself if you're sitting on that fence too long. So I want it to be clear. It's like, hey, we root for the Falcons. We are not rooting for Justin Fields. All right? I know he's your hometown kid, but you got to make sure that there is a distinction between liking who you like outside of the team, but then loving your own team first. So make that clear to me. If I'm watching live, because I can't be there, like, I want to make sure that I come away watching that game, making sure that, like, all right, we had everyone rooting for the Falcons that was wearing a Falcons jersey, that was wearing Falcons merch, and that they weren't trying to think about like, oh, well, Justin did good on the other side too. No, I don't want to have that conversation. So make sure that you place your allegiance right now. You establish that right now. I don't want to have you praise other people on the other side of the team every single time you're there. So go ahead, declare your loyalty, make sure that it's present. Like, you make your presence felt there in that stadium, right? And last thing I'll say is fourth quarter needs to be the loudest. So whatever momentum we need to grab there, whatever momentum we already have going into the fourth quarter, whatever kind of score it's looking like, make sure that fourth quarter is the loudest possible quarter. I don't want you guys to make sure that, like, oh, well, we were loud in the first quarter, we were loud in the second quarter, that should be enough, right? No. Bring your energy. Keep it there. Make sure that the later the game is, the more that you're cheering, the more you're invested, the more you're energized for it, the more you want to see that Falcons victory. So I'm looking forward to it, guys. Any last things you want to say before we close the show?
Who do you love? Are you sure? That's what Noah's talking about.
Exactly. Well, except for Tank gonna be rooting for Justin Fields.
Oh, we know it. Look.
So he's been disqualified from this conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Like you said, man, the money quarter, the fourth quarter is going to be the most crucial for our fan base. Like I said, man, we got to start this off strong, boy. Falcons, we want to know. Like you said, we got to win the South. It starts here.
Yes, sir.
The next couple of games, we just seen our next two opponents just in these last 2 days alone.
Yep. We got to be consistent. They're not playing, man. We got a tough one, but I at least expect us to be 3-0 or 2-1. We got to win this one at home, man. Trying to stay one in Philly. And, hopefully we can beat Kansas. That'd be a good Christmas present for me early. But, yeah. We'll be good, man. As long as we stay healthy, man. Healthy and be consistent on both sides of the ball, man. Rise up. I see 11-6. My prediction of 12-5 this year.
I appreciate you joining, Will.
Yes, sir. All right, man, Mike. All right,
Yes, sir.
All
right, man.
Until next time. Take care.
Like that, I ain't putting no record on nothing. The only thing I'm saying is we better win the damn South. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm going with Raheem Morris. Win the damn South.
I mean, it starts after those 3 games because right after that we have boom, 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 and then we have another 2 games pretty close after that. So, like, the division's gonna have to be won, and it's gonna be won early. That's the good thing about the schedule that we have, is that we can determine what we look like afterwards. After week 10, then we don't really have much of a discussion in the division.
Right.
So it all starts here. And like I said, we have to establish the home crowd right now. That way it's not a problem when Kansas City comes by. That way it's not a problem when anybody else comes by. All right, now we know, right? You sold your season tickets. Let's show them. All right?
Well, you can't even find it. They said they sold out of parking. So, yeah, this shit down there. So, yeah, you thinking about getting to this game, you better off sitting on the couch in your drawers. They say ain't no parking spots.
Yeah, it's nothing. Yeah, it's nothing.
Did you guys? I pointed this out last week, but did you guys see how the Cardinals are adding little houses inside the stadium for people to rent out?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Wow,
I've seen that.
I've seen that. Yeah, they for the out of town experience and stuff like that.
Yeah, Mike, picture this. So you have it kind of looks like a 20-foot long, 30-foot wide. I think it's got 2 stories. They do show a staircase. They have this little area for you to rent out in Arizona and have 10 parking passes, 20 tickets to take with you. It comes with food and all those other things. You have your own TV, your own living room setup in there. And each week, if you decide to rent it out, it's at least $26,000.
Oh, shit.
For a Cardinals game. It can go up to $40K.
Each week?
That's what I'm saying.
Each week.
That's what I'm saying.
If you get all the benefits it asks for in the casitas, as it says. Showing my Hispanic side, ain't I?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out why the hell I want to do that.
Mike, just think about the press boxes, but they're like lofts.
Yeah.
And I think they're on the end zones. There's only a couple of them. So
yeah.
I'm not paying $26,000 just to lay down on a couch in a stadium. I'm good.
Yeah, I have no idea why.
Right? You don't even get privacy because 3 of the walls are glass.
Bullshit.
Oh no. Yeah, I'm definitely good on that. Nah,
Bullshit. Don't you like that? Bullshit. Nah, boy, if I'll be paying some $26,000, boy, it better be ironclad walls behind it. It better be noise proof. I don't need to be hearing nothing.
26.
Yeah.
Nah.
Like I said, bullshit. This ain't the OnlyFans content the Cardinal Stadium is gonna go crazy. Not with no glass walls, it ain't.
You got that right. That's for free.
That's where the $40,000 comes from. Nah, you ain't getting that with the 26K. You guys
No. He said, Jordan Test boy said, I paid $114 for 4 tickets to the Cardinals versus Jets game.
Hold on, what?
But basically saying that those tickets are $26 a pop.
Well, better than Carolina
Dang.
after the year. All right, well, that's gonna do it for the show, guys. Any last things you want to say, 6 man?
Hey man, shoot. Hey, look, like I said, football.
We're gonna sleep when we're gonna wake up. It's game time.
We got game time tomorrow, man. Like I said, y'all make sure y'all show the Professor Noah some love over here, man. Like I said, him and Trey gonna get back in this thing here. Like I said, I just want to show him some love. I think this is the first time in a good little while that I actually got to kick it with you on the show. So it felt good.
Especially with me as the host. That's so weird for me.
hey, I told that's why they called me the 6 man, man. Look, I know how to play my role the right way. Look, like I said, y'all make sure y'all subscribe to Noah Tedell on his channel, man. Like I said, we showing love to everybody that's part of the family. AFN is 30 to 40 deep.
And here's the thing too, right? Because I'm trying something new. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm also on Twitch now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
And
I'm
going whatever
that is
can.
new for you.
I know I got one viewer here.
I know D. Coleman.
Man. Hopefully I can get.
I know D. Coleman didn't just call me Jordan Poole. Nope. You're not Jordan Poole. Nope.
I'd rather you be J. Crow.
Jamal Crawford. We do Jamal Crawford, Lou Williams. I'm good with that. Jordan Poole, bullshit.
Last thing that I will say is me and Ripcliffe, we're gonna team up together, and after the game, him and I both have access to the all 22 film footage. Now, the matchups that I began the show talking about is Jake Matthews and Alex Highsmith, and Caleb McGarry versus TJ Watt. We should be having a film review sometime by the end of the week before the Eagles game. So look forward to that on my channel. And also, I have another show coming up. It's on Wednesday, probably more in the morning-ish for you guys. Bryce Lewis, one of their Falcons reporters from Fox 5 News. I'm going to be hosting the show with him. So if you want to show him some love, he makes some really good reports on Twitter, or on X, I should say.
Yeah, I've done a show with him.
Yeah, he's.
I think Kevin and I did the show with him.
Okay,
yeah. So go ahead and show him some love on his platforms as well, and we'll be looking forward to it, man. See you guys there. Mad Mike, any last things before we close the show?
Again, show Noah some love. I'll have his link to his channel on my community tab. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, man. Like I said, Noah is one of the most informative people that I've known. I consider him a brother. So if y'all don't show him some love, I'm gonna be very, very disappointed. All right. So like I said, man, show Noah some love. Because when I tell you, he not only helps me a lot with that Discord, because I don't have a lot of time. And Noah does a great job of keeping that going for me. So I appreciate that, Noah. But if you guys do me that favor, you would really be doing me a favor. So head over there, man. Show Noah some love, man.
Hey, that's why we call him the professor over here. That's why we call him the professor.
All right, then. Next time we meet up, want to know.
Want to know, baby.
All right, I will see you guys Wednesday. Take care,
Wednesday. Guys. Look, if y'all don't show up Wednesday, like you said, we showing up to your house in Peerless Price jerseys. Y'all better show up.
Damn.
All right.
Find one of those.
We sending them